Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks a bunch for stopping by. Today's beer comes from Canned Heat Craft Beer Company. This is their Juelz, Juelz. These guys are up in Massachusetts. This was sent to me by Brother Greg. And the note he says here, from Canned Heat, said he made his first trip to the brewery on July 6th, and he has sent me 2 beers from them before, and he says I gave them both A's. So I don't know if it was A minus, A's, or A pluses. As far as I'm concerned, these guys don't date their stuff, so I seriously doubt that I gave them A pluses. It would really have to be impressive to me to give a beer an A plus with no date on it. So that even though this beer may be a 10, it probably didn't get it because it didn't have a date on it. And I don't care whether it's brewery on the release or not. Doesn't matter to me. There's plenty of other breweries that do brewery on the release. Treehouse comes to mind real quick, that they date the bottom of their stuff, and it's brewery on the release. So, going to be in this business, guys, at Canned Heat. It's a damn dating machine going, boys. That's all I can tell you, because I wouldn't buy it if it didn't have a date on it. So, just my 2 cents. But didn't go back and look at the ones he sent me before, and he did send me 3 this time from the brewery. And that's the biggest plus. These guys are doing some tasty stuff, but doesn't have a date on it. So, you know, going at the brewery and buying it there, you're going to get the freshes that's probably available, but still, it is what it is. No date, no buy. But that's just me, guys. If I was in that vicinity and I know they just brewed it, I would probably still pick it up. But if it goes out to distribution, homie, don't play that. Would not buy it. Not knowing how old the beer is. It can just sit there. I don't care if it is a 10 beer. I want to know how old it is when I pay my money for it. Alright, we're going to jump over to Untappd. This is a 7.9%er. That's what Untappd has. 94 IBUs on this one. Beer Advocate has it listed as an 8.2%. So evidently they've done it before to have a different ABV range. So, but this particular one is written on the can. It's 7.9%er. So I would say this is the 2019 edition. Not knowing that, just guessing though. I don't think there's anything else we know. It's got a real colorful graphic, like maybe a miner, and then it's got some kind of pick with a plaid shirt on, and Juelz, I guess he's hunting for gold or diamonds or something, and he's got a handful of hops, and it looks like he's pretty happy about it. So, let's get into it. Let's see what we got here, guys. It does have a commercial description where Untappd doesn't. So let me read this real quick. This Imperial IPA is a gem of a beer loaded with generous additions of 3 different hop varieties. You will experience aromas of peach, citrus, and tropical fruit. It has an assertive hop bitterness. Just to remind you that is an Imperial IPA. Drink it fresh from a snifter for the best experience. Thank you for drinking our beer. Well, how do we know how fresh it is if you're not going to date the damn thing? Drink it fresh? We'll try to. You do your part, put a damn date on it. How about that? Deal? Deal! Alright, guys. And instead of telling us 3 different hops, I wish they'd tell us what hops it is. But they do not. You may be able to go to their site and find that information out. I don't do that. So, that's it. That is everything we need to talk about. So, let me mark this off, and we shall get on with it. Let's pop the top on this big 16-ounce can and get it into the glass. Kind of hazy coming out. Looks very much like an unfiltered beer. And since these guys are up in New England, I would think. Maybe it's a New England style. Yeah, that'd be what I think. So, almost 2 fingers of head on that pour. Guys, very, very cloudy, very hazy. Does look like a New England style beer. Good looking. Really good looking. Let's get it to the nose. Yeah, big time hop aroma. I'm getting peaches and oranges, pine, grapefruit, hints of mango, and nice tropical fruit notes in there. Smells pretty impressive, guys. Smells very, very nice. And it's a shame if this is a 10 beer and it's only going to get a 9 because it doesn't have a date. That'd be a shame. But, you know, sometimes you got to grab these people and shake them a little bit. You doing? Put a date on it. Smells awesome, guys. It really, really does. Let's dive in. See what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Greg. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. And I do notice on Beer Advocate that the very first one, or the last person that commented on it, was Brother Greg, it looks like. And he didn't give it as good a rating as I would have thought he would have, or maybe as good as I am going to give it. I will tell you what he gave it when we come back for the final chug, guys. Smells awesome. We're going to dive in. A little bit of spicy notes. Maybe they've used some Southern Hemisphere hops. I am getting some spicy notes on the taste that I wasn't getting on the aroma. I am getting those 94 IBUs though. It's got a strong bitterness to it. But it's a 7.9%. To me, borderline to be a double. I don't consider them doubles till they get to 8%, but that's just me. These guys at the breweries can call it 7.5% or a double if they want to. It does have a strong bitterness, I will say that. And the aroma is a little more impressive than the taste, but the taste is good. If it had a date on it was available here, I would buy it, guys. I would. It's into my go-to ABV range, and it looks like a New England style beer, smells like a New England style beer. Not quite got the taste that a Trillium or Treehouse would have, but still very impressive to me because there's not a lot of breweries around here that produce this kind of beer. Very pleasant. So let's get the back end pour, and we'll swirl this around. Make sure we get anything that has settled into the bottom of the can. And it's probably going to really reinforce the head, because when I swirl that around like that, it just makes the foam go crazy inside the can. And as you can see, we're going to get 2.5 fingers of head on this back end pour. It doesn't seem to have settled a whole lot. It doesn't seem to have changed the appearance any. So we're going to take this out on the deck and sip on it for a little bit, and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. I like this beer. I mean, it does have a little strong bitterness to it, being 94 IBUs, but very tasty. If it had a date on it, I would buy it, guys. It's very tasty to me, but I'm used to drinking bitter beers, especially being a double, but it's only 7.9%. I mean, this thing has the IBUs of a 10, 11, 12% Imperial IPA. So a little bit of spicy notes. I don't know what hops they've used on this, but I am getting something like a Southern Hemisphere hop would have. The aroma is a little stronger than the taste. It doesn't measure up to a Trillium or Treehouse beer, but it is a very tasty beer. I enjoyed it. So, Greg, thanks again for sending it to me. I'm on the fence right now between a B+ and an A-. It definitely is not an A beer or an A+ beer to me. But I do think they make some good beers. I just wish they would follow up with a dating machine. Final chug. Like Nice thing is left on the glass. I found the alcohol is very well hidden for almost 8%. My biggest fuss is the dating. They're not dating their stuff, so they're going to get to B plus on this one. I'm going to give it an 89, right kicking on the door to be an A minus beer, and if it had a date on it, I would give it the A minus. So this was not going to get it because of no dating on it. Even though it was picked up at the brewery, and I know it's as fresh as it can be, these guys need to do that. Other ones do that are brewery owner release, so you can too. Want to be in this business? Do it. So, and I did tell you that when I looked, Greg it was the last one that posted a comment on July the 6th, and he gives it 3.64. So I'm giving it a better grade than he did, and he bought it and was at the brewery. So, Greg, I think it's a little better than what you gave it, but I wish they would date their stuff. That's the bottom line on this beer. But it's not got the aroma and the taste. The aroma's pretty good, but the taste is not quite up to the A plus beers. So with that being said, let's run over, let me tell you what they gave it. Beer Advocate gives it 4.16, exceptional, less in their A minus range. If it had a date on it, that's what I would give it to. I would give it an A minus. Over to Untappd, they have it at 4.17, also in their A minus range. And again, I would give it that grade too if it had a date. So it does not. So it gets a B plus, and I'm giving it a better grade than Greg did. So I would buy this beer if it had a date on it, guys. That's where I'm going to leave this. If you've had Juelz Imperial Double New England Style IPA, Double IPA from Hand Heat, let me know what you think. But don't base your decision on what I'm telling you. I tell you this all the time, guys. What I may love, you may hate, and what I may hate, you may love. You may think this is the best thing you've ever tasted. So if you can get your hands on it, try it. Like I said, you may think it's a 10 beer. Absolutely. Especially if you've not had anything from Treehouse or Trillium. So pick it up if you get a chance. Especially if you're a hophead and you like this style of beer. You may really think it's more impressive than I do. So with that being said, if you've had it, let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.